We will continue to work at the highest levels to secure the release of every hostage held by Hamas and the safe passage of those American citizens in Gaza who want to leave. Hamas has not yet agreed to release anyone other than the 4 hostages, including the 2 American citizens. And with respect to American citizens who want to leave Gaza, they continue to not operate their side of the Rafah Gate.
Okay, so how many Americans do they have? Are they hostages, not hostages? If I'm stuck in Gaza and I can't get out because Hamas won't let me out, that sure sounds like I'm a hostage. Joining me now, Senator Marsha Blackburn of the great state of Tennessee. Okay, Senator, since you can't get a straight answer from anybody in this administration, do you at least have some knowledge? How many hostages do they have? How many of our people are stuck over there?
The White House has said they have about 500, Jesse, and now we're hearing that that number could climb to about 1,000 because we have aid workers that are there, we have civilians that are there, adult and children, and what we are trying to do is get the White House to really talk about who is there, the numbers that are there, and getting them out. We know that Egypt has said they will take these individuals. We know Israel has said, yes, let's move them out. We know that there were people from several other countries that were released today. And we know that this afternoon they have just, in the last little bit, released 5 aid workers that are U.S. citizens. So that's what we know. But the exact number and what these demands are that Hamas is making to release these individuals, we do not know. Now, what we also know is what the statutory definition of a hostage is. And your audience can find that it is 18 U.S. Code 1203. And that is people that are being held against their will. It is another government that is making a demand in order to provide passage for people to leave their country. That is how it is defined statutorily. So we're saying, are these 500 people hostages? What are the demands that are being made by Hamas? What is the plan to get these American citizens out of there? Hamas needs to understand they better not harm these American citizens. If they harm them, there will be hell to pay. But we want to make certain that Americans that are in Gaza are going to be given safe passage. The hostages that are being held from October 7th, that they are going to be released and given safe passage.
Senator, I'm obviously not under the impression our people being held in Gaza are living it up at a Holiday Inn Express, but do we know if they're being harmed in any way? Are American citizens being harmed is my main concern.
We do not. And this is part of the troubling part because, as I said, you have civilians that were there visiting family. You have aid workers that are there. The White House, Jesse, I think that the reason the White House has been very nuanced and what they've had to say about this is an election year. And you've got the mainstream media that doesn't want to blame Joe Biden and the White House. And as we turn the corner on November and elections are a year away, and you look at how they're talking about, well, the people are there, we know they're there, we're talking with Hamas, Hamas is making demands, there's some challenges. Jake Sullivan's interview on Face the Nation this Sunday. See, these are things that say, well, are these hostages? And why won't you call them as such? And why won't you make demands back saying you better not touch these American citizens and demand their safe passage?
Senator, I know it's an ugly thing to talk about, but the truth is the party financially in this country is over, as you're well aware. These deficits they're staggering. $776 billion in one quarter, $816 billion in another quarter. These numbers are the numbers of a nation that is about to have a severe debt crisis that's going to alter how we all live. And yet people look back and we're sending money here, debating money here, money for these guys, and money for as if the treasury is somehow full. The treasury is empty in this country.
Well, and let's talk about what that complicates. Is it does add to our debt. I think we need to have a bicameral commission of representatives and senators that do nothing but focus solely on how we begin to reduce this debt. It means we're going to have to be careful and judicious of our spending and be good stewards of the taxpayer money. Every year I file bills calling for either a 1%, a 2%, or a 5% across the board cut. And we have people that say, well, we can't do that, but look, we've got programs that have outlived their usefulness. We've got employees that are working from the bubble bath, and we need to start calling these to account. People need to show up to work. We need a very serious review of our government agencies. And Jesse, as you know, I have called for a freeze to federal spending. I've called for a freeze to hiring. I've called for a freeze to employee salaries in order to begin to get this spending under control and be able to implement those cuts. This is a very serious issue. In addition to that, we have to look at who it is that goes to market and actually buys and holds our debt. And you've got Japan as the number one holder. Number two is China. And in the top five, you have OPEC producing nations. And some of these individuals are not people that really wish us well. So we should pay more attention to that. I think it's like back in 2010, July 2010, Admiral Mullen was asked what kept him up at night, and it was our nation's debt.
Yeah, me too. Senator, thank you so much. I appreciate it.
You got it. Take care.